More drama in this NBA offseason as a former assistant athletic trainer for the Sacramento Kings has filed a lawsuit against the organization and the senior director of athlete health, alleging pregnancy discrimination, sexual harassment, retaliation, and wrongful termination, according to court documents. Now, the assistant name is Crystal Lee. She was a trainer for the Kings from 2022 until 2025, and she alleges in a suit filed in California Superior Court earlier this month that she was demoted during and after her pregnancy. When Lee returned from maternity leave, she alleges she was kept from traveling with the team and eventually from treating Kings players. She also alleges she was fired less than a month after bringing her complaints to the Kings Senior Vice President of Human Resources. This is a story here, was written on ESPN.com by Michael Rothstein, that dropped today about a few hours ago. You can find it on ESPN.com. Now, what a shit show this is. You see these situations happening with these NBA franchises and the staff behind the scenes. There's a lot of craziness going on on the pro level. Like even college. Remember earlier, I think last year or the year before, there was a scandal with a coach or a former player, I guess. It was in the women's league, so it didn't get much attention. But this stuff is crazy, like, because across the country, people talk about like how people get treated when they're on maternity leave, right? And how the rules, like certain employees don't have paid time off, or they get treated differently, or they get unfavorable assignments when they do return. So this is in Sacramento of all places. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of people trying to break down the door to work for the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they are kind of a trashy organization. At least they can't put together a winning team on the court, at least for the last 25 years. But the Sacramento Kings, obviously, they deny these allegations and they reject the characterization of the organization and its workplace, reflected in the claims made by a disgruntled former employee. Now, this is according to the Kings attorney, said in a statement to ESPN. More in that statement, the Kings take allegations of discrimination and harassment seriously and are committed to maintaining a workplace where all employees are treated with dignity and respect. The organization intends to rigorously defend against these claims through the legal process and will not comment further on the pending proceedings. So that was the Kings' lawyer. So they got a lawyer. They're going to fight back, which is their right, of course. So we got David versus Goliath situation here. Who's going to get believed? Will the California courts believe this woman, or will they believe a $1 billion franchise who got lawyers and they could fight this in court for years? Now, Lee's attorney, Robert King, told ESPN on Thursday that, quote, "We have made prior efforts to resolve this matter with the Kings that were unsuccessful. We did attend a mediation, with the Kings in an effort to resolve this." So the Kings, so I guess the Kings are hoping that their franchise is so, like, they're not like the Knicks or the Lakers, where, you know, they figure, well, we're not this big of a franchise, so hopefully this thing goes away. And so Lee's lawyer, my understanding here is that they had conversations about maybe a buyout, a payoff, right? I hate to say the word payoff, but like a settlement. That's what I meant to say. And the Kings are like, "Yeah, well, we're not going to pay you for what?" They feel like they don't have to. I think ultimately there's going to be some type of financial situation, especially if this story becomes even bigger. The NBA front office probably called Sacramento and said, "Hey, handle this." But right now, it looks like Kings are in the front lead with this. Now, the NBA did not immediately respond to ESPN message seeking comment, as Lee alleges the Kings senior director of athletic health told her, "You're fired," when Lee told him she was pregnant, and later said her life is ruined after you have kids. Ooh, now if that's true, ooh, that's not good. The suit alleges that the senior director created a culture that if you were not working around the clock, you were not committed. Yeah, I could totally believe that, to be honest, because I wonder what does who's the guy running the show over there, the owner? What's his name? Vivek something? Forgot his name. But I wonder what he has to say about that. I would not be shocked that a settlement could be in the works. But they'll fight it for a long time. One thing about those people, and they're not going to just hand money over easily. They're going to try to fight it in court. And, you watch the article, look at the name. When I say those people, you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, so reading more in this article here, a month after returning from maternity leave before the 23-24 season, the suit says the Kings hired another full-time assistant athletic director, expanding the staff and keeping Lee off the road despite her asking head director trainer to work away games. The suit says the Kings promoted another individual to fill the assistant athletic trainer opening. The weird thing about this is that the Kings acting like this team was this team was so they act like they're the Knicks or something, or the Lakers. But they just hiring staff, moving staff around. Like, dude, the team sucks. So what is that about? Working hard, you working around the clock. Working around the clock for what? The team ain't winning no games, right? They acting like they running a well-oiled machine over there in Sacramento. In September 2024, here's another thing. Maybe they should have spent more of that time focusing on that hard work and pushing staff. They should have focused more of that on their scout department instead of the athletic department or training department, right? It seemed like the scout department was the problem, not the health department. But anyway, in 2024, the suit alleges the Kings demoted Lee again and removed assistant athletic trainer from her title, keeping her from performing athletic training duties. The suit lists negative interaction Lee said she had with now head coach Doug Christie when he was assistant coach. Christie is not named as a defendant. In April 2025, according to the suit, Lee met with Rahadawa and Phil Jarbo, the Kings vice president of player personnel. I know I butchered those names. We're just going to say R and P, about concerns that she was being excluded and stripped of her athletic training responsibilities because she had a child. The suit claims the Kings offered to find athletic training spots with other teams, including Kings G League affiliate and 4 other professional teams. Wow. The suit alleges Lee met with the Kings general manager Scott Perry, who is not listed as the defendant in May 2025, about her claims, and that she was told complainers will not be tolerated. Wow, Scott Perry said that? Ooh, shit. The following week, Lee informed the Kings vice president of human resources about her complaints. The following month, the suit alleges Perry and Wigsy fired Lee, and the reasons for her termination was an alleged failure to meet performance expectations, including not updating expense reports. Ooh, see that's the thing. Like, if they deem you, if a company as large as like the NBA, obviously, or NBA franchise, they find you to be problematic, complaining as they see it, right? I'm not saying that she's wrong for that. I'm saying these companies, they want people that's available. They want you to work for almost nothing, right? They treat their interns the same way, social media people. They want you to be available 24/7, and it seemed like her having a kid probably complicated things, because when you take these type of positions, they don't want you to have nothing in your life. Like, people who do these gigs, like become travel on the road with the team and all that, these people usually have no lives. It's all about like you trying to grind. And that's how these companies treat you. Like, oh, now you got a kid, like, stuff like that. Like, so this case is really going to set the tone for a lot of companies out there, how they treat their employees. I hope she wins this. I think she has a case. just based off of this small detail. But like I said, we don't know the Kings' point of view. They have not released any statements, but just saying that they will fight it. So we don't know what their side of the story is. She got fired a month later. So something could have happened in between that. They're saying that their view is she didn't update expenses reports. And if all that stuff is true, it gives them a loophole, right? They put you in positions where you miss something, they use it against you to fire you. They can always find a reason to fire you. That's how companies operate. They can always find a reason to fire you. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And it looks like here they found something. But would it be enough to get her lawsuit thrown out if all the stuff she's saying is true, especially if she can prove it? At this time, we will wait and see. So let me know what you think about this, guys. Is this crazy what Sacramento is doing over there with the going with their employees? I mean, I wonder if more stuff like this is happening across the NBA with these trainers and staff members, because the staff members, they get a lot of, like, a good franchise obviously treats their staff well, but bad run organizations probably have a lot of issues with personnel. And Sacramento being a team that sucked ass on the court, can't get nothing done, can't win, there's no surprise that they will have issues like this. And it's probably more teams like this, obviously. Let me know what you think in the comments, folks. Sports page run by sports fans. We'll be back with another story coming up. Peace.